Cooper, where'd you come up with Cooper?
Hooper is my other dog. This dog
Hooper's
is
name
Indy. This is Indy.
I know, the other's called.
Hooper, yeah. Yeah, I don't know where she came up with a Hooper.
All right, don't forget, you gotta steer me.
I'm
You
gonna
or
try to
Indy.
steer you. I got your timer down here.
All right.
A space either. What?
You said space heater?
No. I said I just want to be able to see.
Oh,
I'm running out of cord.
all right, so Indy, I knew that. That's a good, that's nice.
Fix your
on
hair.
Facebook if it stays like
What's the name of this?
One-
How was it sticking?
You just have a
Give
little
him
piece
a
sticking
treat
out.
or No,
I have one in my pocket. I don't know if I need it.
I don't think he wants it.
3 minutes.
See, this is great. This is,
We're live right now.
gotta watch my mouth. Can we talk into Facebook Live?
Yeah, they can hear us.
Oh,
Fix your hair, Ash.
Again?
Jackie?
Yes. No, like on the front, when
Oh,
you
it's
adjust
like-
the headphones, you push your hair up.
Uh,
I don't want you to look
I
silly.
gotta watch my
Thank
mouth.
you. Thank you, thank
There
you.
you go. Don't
Yeah, I know. what I'm doing.
go back
I know
and
what
then
I'm
push
doing.
forward. There you go. Good boy, Indy. Good boy. Hubby's
We
watching.
can just see here.
No, I see the whole thing.
Oh,
I
you
see
do?
him. Yeah, it's like just like his snout. It's like all cut off.
2 minutes.
All right, so you're gonna, I got this, you got the script, you see what I'm saying here and stuff,
Did you tell Jackie Hooper died?
didn't you?
No.
I thought you said he died years ago.
That was my first talk.
No, it's
I still
Hooper.
have this one.
No, I said Hooper died.
No.
Didn't you just say Hooper died? I said, who's Hooper? And you said my old
My
dog.
other
My
dog.
other dog.
Oh, other, I said. All right. You gotta have always, look at how nice he is, that dog. I wish we had our mic, but I wonder how, ask Jackie how it's, if she can hear us.
I'm gonna pull up to make sure that I can see anybody
Can you text-
rating in.
Well, I just asked the friends in Facebook out there, can you hear us? If not,
The only one that can answer is Jonathan right
then
now.
what?
Yeah, John, I think is the only one watching right now.
We have thousands of followers, thousands.
Just John.
What is this on?
John just keeps.
60.
Is this on, what is it called? On Hounds Down Radio. Yeah, Hounds Down Radio, Facebook.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, 60 seconds. Good. Good boy, Indy.
Jackie's not saying nice things about you.
Can she
Okay.
hear? That's
Yeah,
can she hear us
exactly.
though?
That's the question.
All right. People are saying they can hear us, so that's good.
Good. Oh, really?
Yeah.
20.
Go boy. Go boy. Just go boy. Just go boy.
In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Dish on Dogs. I am your host, Mike Gould, and we're here tonight with the lovely Ashley Pizzo. And for those of you lucky enough to be on Facebook Live, you'll see our faithful companion and sidekick, Indy.
Yep.
Ashley, Indy's a rescue dog or no?
Yep, got him from Brookhaven. He was about 4 months old, and he's about, I want to say about 6 now.
Okay, so folks, if you're listening there and you have access to Facebook, go on Facebook Live on Houndstown Radio Facebook, and you'll see Indy. And in fact, during one of our 7-minute commercials, for those of you on Facebook Live, we're just going to show you how well a dog can be a good companion without going crazy and spending a lot of money. But so Houndstown USA is home to the happiest dogs on earth. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about the show and what we do and how we do it and what the purpose of the show is. But first, we'll talk about Houndstown USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. Houndstown is, of course, a fully interactive doggy daycare primarily. And Ashley Pizzo happens to be our animal management coordinator. So she has a knack of putting, there goes Indy. She has a knack of putting packs of dogs together. And dogs, by nature, are pack animals. So what we provide at Houndstown USA is this fully interactive environment where dogs can be dogs, just like children need to play with other children, for not only for the physical activity, but for the socialization, to learn how to play with other dogs. So it's very important. So we'll talk more about Houndstown USA with our 7 locations on Long Island, our 15 locations in 5 different states. And if you want information about it, you can go to houndstownusa.com. If you ever wanted to own a franchise, if you ever wanted to be the master of your domain, so to speak, where you make the decisions and run a business, but have the assistance, run a business, but have the assistance of a very strong franchise. Did you know, Ashley, that Houndstown franchise was voted the top 50 by Entrepreneur Magazine? That's pretty good. Of course, you might notice, folks, somebody missing here. Or my other co-host, Jackie Bondanza, she quit on us, so she's not here today. But so Ashley's kind enough to jump in that seat. Indy's here. So what is the Dish on Dogs? What exactly are we doing with? What is the purpose of the show? Yeah.
I think the purpose here is mainly to get people to realize, kind of what their dogs are thinking, and it's not as complex as some people, I believe, think it is. It's kind of simpler.
Yeah, much simpler, right. So that's a good way of putting it. So what I would say to the folks listening, if your dog barks, pulls on the leash, humps, jumps, chews your shoes, begs at the table, all of these behaviors, they're actually normal for dogs to do. As we discuss this going through the show, especially in the second and third segment, we'll tell you why the dogs are doing that. So it's actually quite natural for a dog to do it. What's unnatural is the human response to that. So if you're, throwing cans of pennies at your dog or spraying it with a water bottle or screaming and yelling, you're making huge mistakes and you're actually confusing your dog, So the human brain and the dog brain they're similar, but yet different. A dog's brain is simple, the human brain is complicated. So humans complicate everything. Think about it. Think of everything as complicated. People are Googling, and it's worse now than ever. The dog's tail isn't where, just like your children. If a child has a runny nose, you're on WebMD trying to diagnose it. More often than not, you're getting yourself all worked up over a common cold. So the internet has actually, I don't think we've been busier. And Ashley does most of the behavioral work with me. What would you say? Don't you see this craziness in the dog world?
Yeah, yes, you do. More firsthand. I mean, we have a lot of customers and a lot of dogs that come in during the day, even just for daycare. And I think a lot of people bring their dogs to daycare somewhat guilty because, they feel like they don't want to leave the dog home alone. But I mean, at least this environment is a very good environment for the dogs. They get to, no stress. There's no expectations put on them.
Right. So that's a good point. So it's an emotional business, number one. So The humans, what dogs don't have and humans do have is guilt. Humans have guilt, and I would say the guilt emotion is probably one of the big prohibitors in human growth to begin with, right? You feel guilty about this, you feel guilty about that. We feel guilty about our children. I have to work 2 jobs, I feel guilty. The other kids next door got an iPad, I feel guilty. The same thing applies to the dogs. Dogs don't feel guilt. They don't feel guilt. That's why they're so wonderful. They're just happy to be here, as long as they feel safe and secure. When they're not safe and secure, that's when troubles begin. Right. So the Dish on Dogs, this is only our 2nd week. And we're going to be talking every week. It's going to be a continuum, a continuation of the week before. So those of you who listened last week, we said something. So dogs respond to changes in their environment. That's what they do. That's why they make wonderful police dogs, guide dogs, everything. We rely on dogs to detect anomalies in the environment that we take for granted. So we block out. The human brain has something called inattentional blindness, where we block things out, or else we'd never leave the house. If you walked out your front door and noticed every leaf blowing, or every tree, or every bird, or every sound, you'd never leave the house. So we block them out in order for us to function. Our human brain allows us to block things out, extraneous things that are in our environment constantly. Noise, cars, the garbage man. You don't really hear these things. They're part of our environment. Dogs, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, they detect every minutia, every change in environment, whether it's a sound, an odor, or a sight. They see movement. Movement is one of the biggest triggers. Right. So we're going to do a demonstration. Actually, so before we started the show, Ashley and Indy was doing a little work outside here in the airport. We're in an airport. Think of how crazy an airport is. There's a PA system. Dogs don't know what that is. We kind of don't even hear the announcements half the time. We walk through the airport, we miss our flight because we didn't hear the announcement, because we're blocking that out. Inattentional blindness requires us to block it out. Indy had he thought it was the gods in heaven calling out to him to do something. The movement. So we're going to show a little demonstration how difficult it is for dogs to understand these changes in their environment, but how easy it is for us to react to them and teach them that it's all good. So it's a funny kind of concept. So what we do is bridge the gap, the anthropomorphic gap, from human needs and emotions to dogs. Dogs don't need a 5-acre backyard. They don't need a Tempur-Pedic bed. They don't need bottled water. Their needs are much simpler than ours. So that's the focus on the dish on dogs. So as I said, last week we talked about don't look, talk, or touch the dog. And people look at me like I'm crazy. Like, how can I not look at my dog? And we're going to go into depth next segment. How powerful the human eyes are. If you stare at things, if you go to the mall and start staring at somebody's kid and then go up to them and pinch their cheeks, you're probably going to get arrested. But with dogs, we violate that all the time. And we'll talk, right? Don't we see this all the time?
You always mention the subway, because I was in the city about a week ago, and it is. You don't make even eye contact, and you're sitting on top of people in the subway cars.
Right. Nor do you walk into each other, right? You could be walking in...
No, and you're not looking at them either.
Right.
It's very fluid.
Fluid, good word. It's very fluid and morphic. Like there's amorphic birds. Right. You don't see birds crashing into each other when they're flying. So that's exciting. So you're listening to The Dish on Dog. So when you join us after the break, we're only taking a 2-minute break.
Right.
If you hang out on Facebook, I'm going to show you things that are silly, why dogs, sounds of squeaky dog toys. We're going to explain all these things, why these noises and sounds and movement disrupts the dog and gets them out of balance. Why, when your doorbell rings, does the whole house go crazy? I actually asked Jackie last week how dogs tell time. And we're going to explain that, how dogs tell time in the third segment. And some of this is so easy. I describe it almost like a magic trick. You know, you see a magician do something so simple and you can't understand it. And then you learn the trick and you're like, that's it? That's the trick? So for all of you folks that have been working on your dog's behavior for months, and you've got books and videos and you're paying dog trainers, you don't have to do it. So we're going to break. We're going to come back to The Dish on Dogs. Watch us on, what is it, Houndstown?
Houndstown Radio.
And houndsdownusa.com.
Yep, is our website. And you can check us out there.
All right, we'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll talk again.
Oh, do you remember you did training with the dog Toby?
Jackie's
He had
great.
leash aggression.
Wait, say hi to everybody on Facebook. Because Jackie's saying, say hi, squeak. human brain, pinch collars, bad,
Yeah,
bad.
everything.
We got all bad things for doggies. Bad treats we have. Say this again.
We had Rachel's watching, and her and her husband came in with their 2 dogs, Ramsey and Toby, and he was just in a training with them, and he was leash aggressive. And he actually got into a slight dog fight while they were away. They had I'm pretty sure their nephew watching the dog, and that's why they called you, because the dog dragged him across the the kid across the street and went after another dog. But he passed his evaluation today, so he'll be coming to daycare. They checked in. They said
Oh,
that
good. So
you
people-
helped them understand their dog, and that they met me today, and they're going to be starting. They're doing a
They
board.
met you today for a temp test?
Yeah, it's an
Oh,
evaluation.
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Let's see what Jackie has to say.
Yeah, we had like 10 listeners at one point.
We did?
Yeah, we're up to 9 right now.
Wow, 9 listeners.
It's all my church friends are on there right now. John must have shared it. I wonder if I can get him back on the chair.
Yeah, try that.
Indy.
You
Good boy.
can.
37.
When's the break? When's the 7-minute?
This is 2 minutes, the next one's 7.
Come on,
So
Jackie.
just. Indy. Indy, I'm here. Okay, or we'll just sit like that. On the mic.
Here we go.
Good boy.
Oh. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. As I said, if you were watching the first segment, I'm joined here by the lovely Ashley Pizzo and her wonderful companion, Indy.
Yep.
A rescue dog. Remember that, a rescue dog. Didn't cost her a penny. Did a couple of bucks.
No, it didn't. It was actually free adoption month in Brookhaven, so I got it for free.
That's awesome. All right, so Houndsdown USA is home to the happiest dogs on earth. And what we do primarily is fully interactive daycare, meaning dogs come to us.
Yep.
You, Ashley Pizzo, puts them in play. We call them play groups. In Mother Nature calls them packs of animals,
Yes.
packs of predators, because that's what your dog is a predator. We're predators. What does that mean? That means dogs hunt, kill, and eat things. And guess what humans do? Hunt, kill, and eat things. Only nowadays we have people, like Whole Foods, go out and hunt and kill our
Right.
food, so we don't do it ourselves. But other than vegetarians like Jackie, we are predators, and our dogs are predators. It doesn't make them bad. That doesn't mean it's bad, but that's what mammals do. That's how mammals live and survive. So the biggest problem that we see when we're dealing with people don't get it. So they're using their human brain, and for those of you on Facebook, you can see me wearing my human brain. So what I'd like to consider a good dog trainer or a good behaviorist, whatever you want to call it, I'd like to consider them bilingual. So we can talk to humans, and then we can take our human brain off, and then talk to the dog, because communicating to a dog is so simple that most people can't do it, because dogs react to the subtlest movement and sound. Subtle, they're not big. So I have people screaming at their dogs, no, sit, stay. And I look at it, of course we look at it like it's insanity, because if you had a person that didn't speak your language and you just screamed at them, it doesn't make them hear any better, right? So if you're speaking to somebody, you're trying to have a conversation with somebody that speaks Lebanese,
Right.
right? Well, you can't. The louder you can't talk. The only way you can communicate to them is to learn Lebanese.
Right.
So what do you see as we're working with our dogs every day? So last week we talked about don't look, talk, or touch. And we also said tension, and that's what you're going to demonstrate on the next segment. Is the next segment the 7-minute segment?
Yes, it is.
All right. So the next segment, Ashley Pizzo.
Well, the next break.
The next break, let's say that. The in between, so you don't have to listen to the commercials. If you're on Facebook Live, you can watch Ashley. Not only we talk about this concept, don't look, talk, or touch, we also talk about no tension on the leash. No tension on the leash. And Ashley's going to hopefully do a little demonstration. You know, W.C. Fields would never work with children or animals because they were always so unpredictable. So that was his, you know who W.C. Fields is?
I've heard.
You heard. Okay. Well, all right. Well, he wouldn't work with children or animals because of their unpredictability. So anytime you're working with dogs live, you're always taking a little risk of embarrassment. I remember doing it with my first police dog. I was on stage at a high school, and you know, he had to relieve himself behind me, and I didn't realize it at the time. I was on stage with about 300 kids, and they all started laughing. I couldn't understand what they were laughing at, and I looked behind me, and my beautifully well-trained German Shepherd was taking this huge dump on the stage. Needless to say, that was over. I couldn't recover from that, so it was just exit stage left, right? Yeah. So anyway, all right, I'm getting sidetracked. So we'll talk a little bit about, you know, not looking, talking, and touching, and you know, just kind of what we do at doggy daycare. That's a benefit to the dog.
Well, you know, we're taking a lot of the, you know, added, I don't want to say distractions, but things in life that dogs don't have to worry about. I mean, we're very regimented at doggy daycare. The dogs, even to the fact that we keep pretty much their play groups relatively the same. You know, it might change here and there if we have a new dog, but, you know, most of these dogs, you know, we keep them on kennel leads and stuff like that, but most of them, once they come into the back, pretty much know where their play group is, and it's very fluid, and they're not running back and forth. You know, they know where to go. You know, we had a bunch of dogs that wanted to go outside today, but just because they're used to it, but if it was 7-degree weather, it wasn't.
Right. So what we do is exactly what you said. We provide pack structure. So we don't have doorbell ringing. We don't have people come. We don't have children running through the rooms. We don't have garbage men, mailmen. So what we allow, and we don't breed discriminate, by the way, which is one thing that it's huge. And it's almost, if a place discriminates against a breed of dog, if you go to a pet care facility, very honestly, because it's offensive to me. It's offensive to me that my insurance company raises my premiums if I have Rin Tin Tin. Rin Tin Tin is a bully breed, a German Shepherd. Can you imagine? This is insanity. So that's an annoying topic. But yeah, so we provide, at doggy daycare, I like to say dogs can hump, jump, and dump. That's their needs. Children need to run around, get dirty in the playground. They can't live in a sterile environment. So that is the quite natural thing that we provide, the structure. So, yeah, so people come and they understand and they trust us because we're very transparent. We don't BS people. No. We don't nickel and dime them, right? And we set up play groups. It doesn't matter if it's a pit bull, a poodle. We place them by size and temperament. Not to say, by the way, we don't take their size and power and certain genetic predispositions into consideration. We certainly do. But if you look online, if you go on HoundsDownUSA.com, or our YouTube channel, you'll see play groups of 20 dogs together. They are grouped by size and temperament.
Right.
And that's important.
No, it definitely is. You know, because a lot of places don't do that, but it might not be an intentional injury, but if you have a St. Bernard playing with a Maltese, you know, they're not evenly matched, so that runs into, the dog can just step on the other dog, and now you're going to have an issue.
So last week we talked about don't look, talk, or touch. And when we go to the break, you're going to demonstrate what we mean by that. You just don't stare, you don't touch, and you don't talk unnecessarily. Because all a dog hears, when you're talking to your dog, because it doesn't process human language, they just hear blah, 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 blah. They see your lips moving, but there's no connection to what you want from them. So we teach the dogs what we want. We positively reinforce that behavior with love and affection. So you're constantly going to see Ashley teaching the dog what it wants, and then reinforcing that or validating that behavior by positive reinforcement, which is, of course, physical praise and love. Also, Jackie's telling me I got to give a shout out to Sydney. Her dog has been coming. Sydney. Oh, Sydney. Hi, Sydney. Shout out. Yeah, so we're gonna when we go to the break. Those of you on Facebook Live, stay with us on that. And also tension. No, if you got tension on the leash, that puts tension in the dog's body. Tension. So these things are all connected. So again, we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk. We're going to demonstrate the leash training, and then in the third, is there another 7-minute break after or no?
No, it's another 2-minute break after.
2 minutes? Is
Yeah.
there no more 7-minute breaks? That's it?
Yeah, just 7 minutes
Okay.
this time.
All right, so 7 minutes this time, and every week, if you follow this, we'll show Indy's development, and we'll add all the things on the top 10 tips. So the first topic was don't talk, touch, or love, and don't put tension on the leash. That was number 2.
Right.
So we're going to demonstrate that, and then you got to learn how to read your dog's behavior. So you're going to see very clearly when we say read your dog. Some dogs, if they used to have their mouth open and pant a lot, and then they shut their mouth, that means something. There's ears. Everything is told to you by the dog's body, his face, his ears, and his tail. You agree with that,
I do
Ashley?
agree with that. Yep.
All right. So then let's. We're going to get set up. We're going to take this break. Get set up. You can go ahead out there and go do your thing, and we'll be back. Folks, watch us here. We're going to squeak. We're going to watch us on Facebook Live. See you after the break for those of you without Facebook Live.
So all you have to
Taking this
do
whole
is
contraption.
that little lever that's by your face.
All
This
right.
one right here.
Pull
You
it.
just open it, and this whole top will come off.
All right, go do your thing. We're going outside, folks, and watch the Ashley.
You're not keeping to the script, by the way.
I know, bad, because I can't go by you. Jackie, you're texting me things. That's no good. All right, you coming out?
I think so.
All right, come out here. Hi, how are you? We're just doing a little demonstration on Facebook Live. So there's our little friend, Indy. Notice her body is relaxed, so there's no tension on the leash. See the little children? Come back this way, Ashley. It's too far away. Come closer. The dog's on her left. Come towards us. Go right. And notice the dog is adapting to her. She's not adapting. There's some reinforcement. Make a left. Okay. Just move. And make a right. No tension. Her arms are dropped at her side. Make a left. Then slow down. Come to a stop. No talking. She's touching when the dog does a good behavior. Now there's distractions in the back. That's what's important here. There are so many things happening in this airport that most people don't pay attention to. There's kids screaming back there. And there's these little, what do you call those? The suitcases that drag. A dragging suitcase to a dog is another animal. Just like a car is an animal. The garbage truck is an animal. The mailman is an animal. Step out with your right. Don't stay. You're still worried about the children. That's right. Step away. So this looks simple, and it is relatively simple, but we just reinforce this over and over again. And then she can do whatever she wants. I wish I had my squeaky toy, but you go over there, and I can walk by. I can get my newspapers, and I can run around, and I can... or not. Then she's going to go play. So she's going to put them in a place. Go ahead. This is what I told you about W.C. Fields. But that's okay. We don't freak out. You see no screaming. Nothing happened. Then she puts him in a place, and he's in his place, and she walks away. So I overdid it. That's my problem in life. I'm always overdoing things. I overdid it, showing off, distracted the dog. If I did this all day long, the dog would be as used to this as he possibly could. So this is our demonstration. Now watch what happens when we talk about no talk or touch. She's looking at us, not the dog. When she looks at the dog and drops low, the dog will come to him. Her, watch. Go ahead, look. Dropped, looked. Now she talks and touches. Then she picks up a leash. She stops talking and touching, and she moves. And the dog will adapt. Come a little closer to us. And then slow down. Come to a stop. The dog sits. Notice her body language. Drop the leash. Step out with your right. no problem. Little mistake, go back and fix it. No problem. This is a dog from a shelter. Dogs don't have different brains. There's not German Shepherd brains. There's not Pit Bull brains. One brain, it's the dog brain. Again, she's looking here. No look, talk, and touch. Now she's going to just drop, and the dog will come to her. Period. Then she's going to pick up the leash, and because she wants him to stay in one spot, she's going to put him in place. And then you can slide over, see if you can get that. And then walk away. I listened to your show last week, it was great. Hey! See how he reacted to sound? I'm just going to get my little, we got to go back 2 minutes. All right, we got 2 minutes, we'll go back. We're going to pick up on this every week. We're going to have some dog just demonstrating these simple concepts. This is not a lot of work. It's consistency, simple consistency. Let's go, Ashley. Okay, that's it.
Do you know if they fixed the headsets? Did it get better?
2.5,
Fix
guys,
the
2.5.
Headsets
Did who?
today. Was it better? Because it was
Oh, yeah, it was echoing. I didn't know what that was. That's why I was confused. No, I was just saying it was echoing.
Yeah, she's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. Do you want your other phone? So I think you should touch on why we heal on the left side. Same thing as walking through Manhattan. That's why it's fluid, because it's on the left side. You drive on the left side, no? This is what your script is saying. So
I know, but let's not deviate, because that's a little too much. Jackie added that. I don't know. Jackie. Well, I think it's important to talk about the tension on the leash. Why? Now we'll talk about why. Unless people are asking. She said she heard that, Jackie. Oh, yeah. Do you know what that is?
Well, you should do a shout out to Lori.
60 seconds.
She has Jessie, Mitzi, and Scout that come. They've been coming for a long time, but they are also watching.
All right, do that when we come back on.
Well, they're watching us right now. They're watching us on Facebook.
Oh, well, hi.
45.
He's so intrigued by something. There's
The
something
people
out there.
sitting outside.
Oh.
I'm thinking that's what it is.
Someone walked by with a wheelchair before and he's like, what is happening? Like spinning. Yes, I'm talking about you.
30.
What's it doing? The one that we did, I went to the house, big gold on the tree, the unicorn, he read Zeus. Zeus.
Oh, Zeus. Yeah, she's a daycare customer. We can talk about him.
10. In 5, 4, 3.
Views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Do you wish you knew what your dog was thinking? You're in the right place. It's Dog USA presents the Dish on Dogs.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs, the show that will hopefully bridge the gap between the human brain and the dog brain. And, you know, I very frequently, and I'm here, of course, you're listening to Houndstown Radio and the Dish on Dogs. I'm here with the lovely Ashley Pizzo and her wonderful sidekick, Indy. And if you were here during the break, we were on Facebook Live, and, you know, as I said, working with a dog live at an airport that's probably never been to an airport.
No, he hasn't.
He's never been to an airport. So, but it does show the simplicity. And if you were watching, we made a little mistake here and there. Basically, my fault. I picked up a newspaper, and he was distracted by it. But the point was, the observation that should have been made is that how a dog in another environment is perfectly fine, and then they come into an environment that's slightly different. I mean, an airport has got carpeted floors, but it also has echoes, PA systems. There's so much distractions that human brain doesn't process. We exclude it. We're actually blind to some of these things. So that was a very interesting demonstration, and I think you did really well. Actually, I think Indy did well. And the point was that the dogs don't come from a special planet. So there's no pit bull brain, there's no golden retriever brain, just like humans. There's no Muslim brain, Catholic brain. They're all the same brains. We all share similar emotions. Human brain hate, dog brain don't hate. Humans may be racist, dogs aren't racist. This is what makes the beauty. This is why we bond with them. They're pure. They're pure. They don't care what you were doing when you come home at 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't care whose telephone number you have in your pocket. They don't care. They just want to be safe and secure. They want you provide them the safety and security. So what humans don't do, they buy them the best beds, the best food, the best veterinary care. They bring them to Houndstown, which is wonderful. And we take care of their brains there. We take care of the dog brain there. You guys got all the other stuff taken care of. I don't have to teach one human being how to love their dog. If I say to somebody, praise their dog, they break out and they such emotional. So that's easy. But putting structure in the dog's life, forget about it. It doesn't happen, and it's so simple, because its structure doesn't mean it's not a disciplinarian yelling and screaming. In fact, as we said, we don't talk to dogs, because dogs don't talk. As I said, how long have I been asking for the talking dog, Ashley?
As long as I've been working there.
Right, $100,000 to the first person that brings me the dog. I'll up it to $250,000 to the first person that brings me a dog that talks in human language. And I'll be happy. I'll take him on the road, and that's it. So by talking to a dog, and then by yelling at a dog and screaming at a dog, makes no sense. So I watch what people do. Dog jumps on a couch. They may launch a can of pennies at them and scream. It makes no sense to the dog. It just frightens the dog. So we never want a dog to be afraid. We want the dogs to respect our leadership, because that's what they need. Pack animals need structure. We need structure, right? So when we need structure in our lives. When we go on an airplane, there's absolute structure. You have to line up in a certain way, and you have to listen to the instructions of the TSA. If you don't get on the plane. If you don't buckle your seatbelt, you don't fly on the airplane. So
That makes us safe and secure also, by having that structure.
Right. Well, it's part of everybody knows about structure. If you go to a job, you know that there's a boss and there's subordinates. Not everybody can be the boss. There's one boss. And dogs, once they have that security, they relax. And it's kind of ironic when we see that. So again, I kind of kiddingly asked, how do you think dogs tell time? The only way dogs tell time is by human rituals and changes in the environment. Right? So the dog learns what morning is by the first time your feet touch the floor when you're getting out of bed. That's when they know it's morning. They wouldn't know it any other time. At 2 o'clock in the morning, you could drive by Doggy Houndstown, you could drive by any shelter on Long Island. You won't hear a peep. The only time they get crazy is in the morning when they hear the first car pull into the parking lot. And because they know the next thing is the ritual of feeding. They're getting fed, etc. So I think that you do this day in and day out. So what is the importance of not putting tension on the leash? Why, when you were walking around doing the demonstration, when I say that, don't put tension on the leash, what's the importance of that?
I think the main thing is, too, he's never been in the airport before, or, if we would have taken him to a horse barn or a field or something, it would have been a different situation. But when you put tension on the leash, you're adding anxiety to the dog, because you're now I know the right way to say it, but you're putting
Restraint.
your anxiety
Right,
almost on the
right.
dog.
So just by virtue of the word tension goes down the leash. When you restrain something, anything, if you're walking and something is restrained, it actually promotes the behavior you're trying not to. So when Ashley was moving around, if you put tension on the leash, the dog doesn't trust that things are good there. So does that, I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
No, I think so. It's the same thing, like I'm afraid of heights. So if I'm walking, next to a glass window on the 30th floor of a hotel, I don't want to be touched. So, I get more anxiety
Right.
when someone's, trying
That's a
to
pretty good analogy.
pull me
I think.
around and push me.
Right. So generally, right. So we talked last week. If you tether a dog to anything, whether it's you or something else, the dog, and then it sees a distraction. It sees another dog. It sees a car. It sees a bicycle. I don't care what the movement is. The movement to the dog is just another animal. And dogs don't see that well, by the way. They got great peripheral vision. They see movement very clearly. But their vision is not multi-chromatic. I don't know if that's the word. We'll have to fact check that. But they don't see in color. They don't see in like deep colors. They see shades, and it's almost like walking around with sunglasses on, if you want to use that analogy. And that's the point that we try to talk about, is try to understand the world the way your dog sees it or not sees it. It doesn't see it. It's living 18 inches off the ground. It doesn't have thumbs. So the only way it can get up into our human world is to jump. And then when it jumps, sometimes you hit him over the head with a newspaper, or sometimes you give him a hug, or you give him a cookie, depending. So really, humans are the problem. Wouldn't you agree?
I do agree. They confuse the dog. So
Of course
they jump on the
confuse.
counter to get a cookie,
Right.
but then when it's Thanksgiving dinner, nobody wants a dog jumping on the counter.
Exactly. Or the couches, the dog's on the couch watching Dr. Phil, but when you have company over, you're screaming at the dog to get off the... So it's confusing the hell out of the dog.
And they can't understand why there's a difference.
Right. And this is why dogs start biting people, because out of confusion, conflict. Dogs have only one way to resolve conflict. One way, and that is how, Ashley?
With their mouth.
With their mouth. They don't have opposing thumbs. They can't call 911. They can't call an attorney. They can't even get out of your house. They might hate you, and they're stuck with you. You might think I think I'm the greatest parent in the world. You talk to my 3 kids, trust me, they will not agree with you. So we have these dogs that are essentially our hostages. We think we're great, right? We go to the shelter, we take a dog. We laugh. We usually laugh when we see reward for lost dog. I think the dogs are going to come up behind and take the signs down because they don't want to be found, right? Because we're bringing them back. We're bringing them back to the same home. So it's hard for us to say, but this is all we do, day in and day out. Try to explain to wonderful people. These are wonderful. And the irony is, my most difficult clients have this sophisticated academic brain. And I mean that. They're professors, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're analytical. When I have somebody on the phone and they're telling me about their pet behavior and they're telling me how difficult time they're having, invariably they do something that analyzes information. So they're consumed so much by the analytical aspect. You know who never calls me? Farmers. Farmers don't wake up in the morning and wonder why the cow is not looking so happy. There's 1,000 cows. They wake up, they don't worry about the chicken. They want to make sure. So they have a very balanced life out on the farm. In our houses, we live in craziness. Children, just think of the poor dog he's not a human. He'll never be a human. He's trying to figure us out, and we are crazy sometimes. Right, Ashley?
Yeah.
What else do you want to add before we go to this break? What else? Any words of wisdom? You're the professor.
I know.
You're the manager of packs. What's the number one thing you do when you put a pack of dogs together?
Well, size and temperament for us, and then we try not to intervene is the biggest thing.
Right, let dogs be dogs. Just imagine if you're always nagging your kids, telling them how to play, don't get dirty, stand up, don't blah, blah. You know how annoying that is? I remember when I was a little kid, my parents used to dress me up in these like snowsuits. I couldn't even move. And then they don't want you to get wet. They don't want you to,
You look like the Christmas Story.
Exactly. So leave your kids and your dogs alone. Let them have some fun their way. Let them decide what's fun to them. And if it means digging a hole, let them dig a hole. If it means rolling around in grass or whatever, just do it, right? What? Why are you laughing? All right, I'm delirious. All right, join us. You're listening to the Dish on Dogs. Come back after our 2-minute break, and we'll talk some more about dog behavior. Thanks, folks. What was?
Are you gonna get in trouble?
No, I don't know. Just what segment are we up to?
This is gonna be a third segment.
Just the third?
Yep.
You sure?
This is the fourth.
Oh, it is the
that's what I
fourth segment.
thought.
You went right through that one.
You hear that, Jackie? Professor's telling me it's the third
Well, you're
segment.
not following the script. Poor Melissa slaved over this.
No, she didn't. She filled in some blanks. I saw her.
Filled in some blanks. Well, I had half an hour to do it. So.
Next week, we're gonna do it on Sunday. That'll make life easier. Every Sunday, we'll have our production meeting.
I can have it done before Sunday if I know the topic.
That's pushing.
So we're talking about the charity next segment,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
Video dog in particular,
What's our next tip?
for next
Dog should
week.
be 1 or 2 places. huh?
60.
Well, let's remember that.
What are you remembering?
Well, the dog should be in 1 or 2 places. Under
Right.
your supervision or crate.
Seconds.
Do you want me to post those videos? Are you gonna talk about them?
Yes.
Joe and,
On what,
we're gonna post them on the charity page. if
On
you want,
what?
Right? Do you want me to post them on
Why would you
Town
do it on
Radio?
the radio?
I can, all right.
15.
I'm gonna do that in
we gotta clear out of here real quick, because there's another show coming.
Okay.
So we gotta clean up and get out real fast.
In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs, brought to you by Hounds, USA, right here on 1039 LI News Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. This is the show about dogs. That's what we talk about, dog behavior and the dog brain. Any of the things we talk about, if you go to Houndstown Radio Facebook page, we're going to be putting up videos about everything we talk about. So there should be corresponding videos on Houndstown Radio. We got some really cool, I think, cool videos. I mean, obviously, if you're listening and you like dogs or interested in dog behavior, then you should follow us on Houndstown Radio. One thing I have to clear up from one of my staunch critics down in Beverly Hills, Florida, I said Jackie quit on us. I was teasing, all right? She hasn't fully quit yet. She just says she's too old to be up at this hour, 8 o'clock. She likes to have a nice glass. At this point, she's probably
You're
drank
getting
half a
yourself in
bottle.
more trouble.
Yeah, I can't keep myself out of trouble. All right, but anyway, yes. So here is Ashley Pizzo with me and her dog, Indy. And before the break, we're just talking about animal behavior, and we wanted to put it in some kind of order that makes sense. So if you notice, one thing, the leash and collar is always on the dog, and the right collar. So if you're on Facebook Live, we don't use pinch collars, we don't use harnesses. There's proper equipment, right? Just like you have the right tires on your car. If you have a flat tire, you could have a Maserati, but one flat tire, you're not going anywhere. So it's very important to have the right equipment. And at Houndstown University, this is what we show people, the simplicity of it. So the right equipment, and we start by always having a leash and collar on the dog. And the tip for this week is the dog should be in 1 of 2 places, either under your supervision or in a crate. I know people think about a crate as a cage, but don't forget, dogs are denning animals. That's where they're safe and secure, in their den. They don't know it's a cage, you know it's a cage. And a crate should never be used for punishment, admonishment, timeout. This is crazy. Dogs don't understand the concept of timeout. Very frequently what we do actually counter-trains the dogs, because dogs make such quick connections of things. So if a dog is afraid, let's say the dog is barking at the mailman and you put him in the crate. Now he barks at the mailman more because he wants to get into his crate, into the safety and security of the crate. So the crate, we call it a den. You call it cages, whatever the heck you want to call it. So when we're training dogs, they're in one of two places. On a leash and collar. Doesn't mean that you have to be holding the leash, but if it jumps up on the couch, you pull him off the couch. And then you praise him, you love him. You get off your ass, get on the floor, and pet your dog on the floor. You know how simple that is? Instead of inviting your dog up on the couch, even me, with all my physical conditions, I can still get on the floor, watch TV, and pet my dog. Period. So it's the simplicity of this all that we want to talk about. So
right. You just had the customer that we just did the training with had a misconception about the crate.
Oh, right. She adamantly refused to use it. Adamantly. I don't
And the
mean,
dogs in the first 5 minutes we put them in there weren't happy, but that's because she was still staring at
Again,
them.
it's like a child in a crib. Of course, the first few minutes, they're going to try to manipulate you. It's the same. But once they understand the safety and security of it, it's analogous to putting fish in water. When people say, I don't like a crate, I ask them what their feelings are for putting fish in water. Do you feel bad that the fish is getting wet? Because if you do, you take the fish out, watch Dr. Phil, the fish is going to die, almost certain, right? So fish belong in water, birds belong in nests.
And we should talk about our charity.
We have to talk about our charity, Houndstown Charities, rehabilitating people through animals. So all of our dogs, almost everything we do has a human component to it. So Houndstown Charities is a 501c3. And for those of you listening, and if you go on Instagram and just type in Zooming Rosie.
Yep.
How do you say it? Zooming?
Yeah, zooming, you're right.
Zooming Rosie. You're going to see this magnificent dog that Ashley and I are actually going to California on Monday. Will we be back for the show? Yeah, no. Yeah, we're leaving Tuesday. We're going to LA to pick up Zooming Rosie. She's got her own Instagram. She's an inspiration. For those of you who are complaining that it's too cold, that was me. It's too hot, that's me. Zooming Rosie is an inspiration. She has no use of her back leg. She's in a, would you call it a wheelchair?
Yeah, it's a doggy wheelchair.
Doggy wheelchair. But this dog runs around like a lunatic. She doesn't feel any pain. She doesn't complain. She's a wonderful dog. So watch Zooming Rosie. So our charity, this is the essence of what our charity does. We do behavioral things. We don't just, look, there's wonderful charities out there, as I always say, and they do amazing things, and we work with most of them. But Houndstown Charities is, we work with the more difficult dogs, right? And will you show some of the dogs like Cappuccino?
Yep, I just posted his video on Houndstown Radio, so after the
Oh,
show.
so yeah, after this Facebook Live, if you go to Houndstown Radio, Facebook, you'll see videos of Cappuccino. These dogs that were doomed, they were red dogs for euthanization. Was it Joe, our amazing Joe?
Yeah, he was undiagnosed deaf dog.
Undiagnosed deaf dog, can you imagine? And he was in a shelter for 7 years. So these are examples of what Houndstown Charities do. And all of our franchisees in all 5 states assist and do the similar things. We work with the prisons. Our Bergen County, Houndstown in Jersey, they have this great relationship where they take dogs from the shelter almost weekly and provide an outlet for the dogs to run around. So I'm very proud of that. I'm more proud of that than I am the other things that we do. Because it's really amazing, and it's sad that people are still go out and, I don't know, like I said, if you saw Indy before, you're not going to find a better, healthier, sounder dog than that.
No.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree with it. Yeah.
All right. I'm glad you agree. Okay. All right, so tell me a little bit about Indy. How did you end up getting him?
Pretty much, I mean, it was actually, just by working at Houndstown, and I actually knew a couple of people I graduated with from high school, worked in town of Brookhaven, and they knew I grew up with Great Danes my whole life. So I got a picture sent to me
That's a Great Dane?
Supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
So that was half the story. He was supposed to be a Great Dane. I got a picture of a 4-month-old supposed Great Dane puppy.
He was on like Match.dog.com.
Exactly, a false profile.
He tried to purport himself to be a Great Dane.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not.
But the point is, you got the point of the matter. You got him from the Brookhaven shelter. An amazing dog. By the way, the folks at Brookhaven are wonderful. We have wonderful Houndstown Charities that does work with every rescue, every municipal shelter on Long Island. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be training We're going to be doing some training for our friends in one of the shelters on Long Island. So, yeah, if you go to our Houndstown charity page, you'll see some videos. I think some of them are really heartwarming, especially the Cappuccino one. Cappuccino was severely abused. It's hard to watch the beginning of the video, but by the end of the video, you'll be watching because it has a really great ending. And I know a lot of times, I know Jackie doesn't like to watch those commercials with all, and I don't either. I think it's exploitative, really. So we don't exploit people anywhere. But it is amazing to watch these dogs come from
Just a full circle.
Full
right.
circle. Joe, the deaf dog who wanted to kill everybody, found his way. And what, like Jackie pointed out last week, Joe was completely deaf, and he lived in a shelter for 7 years until we put him with a pack of dogs, and he was probably one of the happiest dogs around. When you should take credit for that because you were able to get him in a pack. And when you think about how silly it is when we wonder if dogs will do good in a pack, they're a pack animal, they're dogs. So it shouldn't surprise anyone that dogs, like saying, I wonder if my child wants to go to Disney World. Of course they do, they're a child. So some of this stuff is, I guess, frustrating to us, right? But to be honest, we can share that we both pretty simple-minded. Wouldn't you say? You and I? Okay, right. But I know I'm simple-minded, and I think the people, truthfully, like we're animal people, they just have their brain operate slightly differently. You know, horse people, animal people. We just kind of get the dogs, and we don't get the humans so much. They're too complicated for us, and that's not saying a bad thing. I wish I was academically inclined. You know, I wish I could sit and read a book from cover to cover. It just can't happen for me. My brain just can't deal with that. So anyway, I'm sure my friends in Florida will get a laugh out of that, how simple-minded I am. All right, again, you're listening to The Dish on Dog every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. You can look at, and they can listen live at
News Radio.
linewsradio.com. Listen live. And then, of course, we're going to do next week again, Facebook Live, so we can follow the training of Indy, right?
Indy.
And we're off to Florida. Will we be back with Zooming Rosie? No, we won't be back with Zooming Rosie.
Yes, we will, next week.
Not Monday, we're leaving Tuesday, but we'll be
following
live Monday night. Listen live next Monday night. Follow us on Facebook, folks. Good night. All right, we gotta get out of here. Hi, everyone.
Bye.